Okay, so the purpose of today's stream is to focus on spiking a cube draft, and by that I mean going for a very consistent strategy in the cube. Yesterday we had a lot of fun messing around with some 5-color good stuff shenanigans. Deck didn't do that well. I think it was either 2 or 3 wins. Like, it was a shoddily put together deck, might we say. So today we're going to focus on more consistent strategies that we can use to try and get to that break-even point of 5 wins and 3 losses, at least, ideally, and then try and kind of make bank off of it. And also because sometimes the way that you want to have fun in a cube draft is not through messing around with weird strategies, but it's through winning a lot. I think one of the most straightforward and highest percentage win rate ways to do that is with a very consistent strategy. So we're looking at the mono-colored strategies, ideally. So mono green ramp type stuff, or green stompy can kind of come together. Mono blue has tempo, mono white has weenies, mono black has aggro, and mono red also has aggro. Mono black's aggro is a little slower than mono red's, but is a bit more resilient. Has some graveyard shenanigans going on and stuff like that. And instead of like trying to put together a very specific deck that needs all these different pieces, all we want is like one color, ideally. Try and force that through, and like all we're looking for is cards of that color that are cheap, and like it's a really easy heuristic that we can use as we draft, instead of having to think about, oh, does my reanimated deck need some discard right now, does it need some protection, does it need a reanimator spell, does it need a reanimation target? No, we're just like, if we're in mono red, we're like, is it red, is it cheap? That's it, that simple. So we're just going to go ahead, fire up the draft, and see what we've got in our first pack. Okay, so our first pack here, as you can see, like annoyingly has some very powerful cards in multicolors. So we've got Crocs is really good. Fiend, I don't know about these 3 actually. These seem like they could be alright, but they're very temperamental. I'm partial to a green ramp strategy. I love ramping. So I am looking at this Paradise Druid and thinking, maybe that's our way in. Also, with the green ramp strategy, you can actually like splash another color for one of your payoff cards. I think I'm going to just take Paradise Druid. It might seem boring, but I think it's pretty good. So we're trying to go all in on this. Okay, so we've got a few options here. This is quite good. We've got an Incubation Druid, we've got a Lana Oils, we've got a Growth from the Ashes, we've got an Elvish Rejuvenator, and we've got a Scattering Surveyor that all kind of play into the archetype, sort of. Scattering Surveyor is more for splashing, really. But a 1-mana dork is just so much better than a 2-mana dork. You can get this down a turn early, get out a 3-drop like Growth from the Ashes really early. This is really good. We're hoping for some of this other stuff on the wheel, because there's other exciting things in the pack. If we were in the mono black, we'd want to be taking the Grey Merchant here. If we're in mono blue, we'd want to be taking the Essence Capture. Pardon me. If we're in also mono black, Rune Raid is really good also. If we're in mono red, it's a rough pack. If you're in mono white, it's got to be the Take Vengeance. But there's a very heavy green pack, so hopefully that means it's going to be slightly open for us. Rotting Regisaur is a great card. We could like try and transition into a green-black Stompy deck, but I don't want to be doing that right now. I want to go monocolor, as simple as possible. Pelt Collector is like a good one if we're trying to build like a Stompy deck. So if we picked up a Galter, for example, things like that, that would put us towards that. I'm currently thinking Once Upon a Time though. This fixes for whatever we need. If it's our first card in hand, it's super good. So yeah, I think we just take the Once Upon a Time on this one. Awakening of Vidu Ghazi is fine also in a Stompy type deck. But I think if we were sold on Stompy, we'd be going for the Pelt Collector. This one's not great for us. Vivian's Arcbow. It can, like, if we find things to ramp into, Vivian's Arcbow can be a way of finding that thing. Think of it almost like a Fauna Shaman or a Collected Company, almost. Not Collected Company. I'm thinking of the Convoke one. I can't think of its name right now. The first I run games, it's okay. It can draw a couple cards, can help you splash, sort of. It stands alone alright. I'm thinking that standalone power might be better for us than the Vivian's Arcbow here. So I'll take it, but I'm not too pleased about it. Blue would have the Merfolk Trickster here, which is really good. White isn't too happy, Trapped in the Tower maybe. red gets shock. Alright, continuing on mono green, we've got Jade Light Ranger. It's a fantastic one. Stonecoil Serpent also really good, fits into any of these decks really. I think it's got to be the Jade Light Ranger though. This is a very solid card. Although I am thinking if we're ramping the Stonecoil Serpent, it's something we can play early against aggressive decks. To try and like block up the board. The fact that it's got protection from multicolored can come in really useful. Reach and trample, those are good abilities. And if we ramp into this, you know, this is X equals 6, 7, 8. That's really good. I've changed my mind. I do like Jade Light Ranger though. Is there a possibility that it wheels? Probably not. I mean, it's heavy on green, so people might not want it for that reason. But otherwise, we've got an Imperious Perfect here if we want to go into elves specifically. The fact that there's not much else here for me makes me think maybe we'll give that a try. Entrancing Melody is an interesting one for a ramp. You know, we could splash this reasonably easily. It's double blue, but we've got things like Paradise Druid now Once Upon a Time. I'm going to go for the Imperious Perfect, and you know, we've got a couple of elves already. This could maybe work out. Our green here is Song of Freyalise. See how easy it is to choose your cards here. The green card is Song of Freyalise. I am looking at Banefire. It's a good card to ramp into. Pretty easy to splash. Dragaseth is a great creature, but that triple red means that we're going to have difficulty casting it unless we have a way of cheating it out, which we currently don't, so I don't want to take a gamble on that. I'm thinking Banefire. Song of Freyalise, I don't know, it's good if we do try and build like an elf style deck, but I think Banefire fits our strategy a little better here, even though we might not end up playing it. Finale of Devastation, this is a much better thing than the Vivian's Arcbow for like finding a big threat once you've got a lot of mana. Bonder's Enclave seems like it could also be fine. Try and draw some cards in the late game, but like it seems like with our kind of deck, if we've got something that costs if we've got a creature with power 4 or greater, we're like already winning. We don't need to draw more cards, we just need to smash face. So Finale of Devastation is great. It can close out the game, it can find us what we want. Here we've got a nice little removal spell in Ram Through. Sapperline Migration can gum up the ground. Chainweb Arachnia can also, like, probably does a better job of going up the ground because it doesn't cost as much and it's more resilient and it can escape out of the graveyard. Interesting that it doesn't seem like anyone's in mono red aggro in our pod. So like if we wanted a hard transition, we could go for the G2 Lava Runner. So I'm really between the Arachnia and the Ram Through here. I'm going to go for the Ram Through. I'm sorry for the police car in the background. Incubation Druid and Growth from the Ashes and Elfish Rejuvenate are all wheeled, so now we've got to choose between them. I'm personally thinking cheaper mana equals better. Also the fact that this is an elf and we've got the Imperious Perfect, and we could kind of go for this hybrid between the elf strategy and the ramp strategy, just like naturally. And as I say, it is cheaper. It's an easy Awakening of Vitu Ghazi, I believe. It's the only mono green card here, and it's fine. Like, it's more for a stompy kind of deck than for a ramp kind of deck. But I mean, you know, if we get this out on turn 3 or turn 4, just having a 9/9 could be like good enough. Clothless is an interesting one, but I don't want to splash early things. The only reason we're considering this Banefire is because it's not really a splash, right? Like, we need 1 red. Well, we could get that from any number of ways. None of this is really good for us, so we'll just like take the Empyrean Eagle, I guess. I don't know. No, that doesn't matter. Perforost's Intervention is another kind of splashable red creature. Red spell, I should say. Along the same lines as Banefire. I don't think we want it, but I think we're probably more likely to play it than any of the others. So we'll pick it up. Pick up a Callous Dismissal. It's just the last cards in the pack, doesn't matter. Song of Freyalise wheeled. This could be really cool if we can go further into green. Okay, it's hard to not take it to Fairy, I realise. We've got 2 really powerful green cards here in the Great Henge and Voracious Hydra. So the Great Henge is interesting. So this only really ramps you if you're already casting big things anyway. Which I think is like perfectly valid. But I think Voracious Hydra, this is like a good thing to ramp into. It can be a big Hydra if you want it to be. It can be a removal spell if you want it to be. There's a possibility the Great Henge wheels. It's a bit questionable. The fact that it's double green might put people off of it, and there's a lot of other powerful cards in this pack. You got the Bells and Lock, the Teferi, the Sarkhan, Talrand even. Angrath's Rampage is pretty versatile. Judith the Scourge Diva is good in a certain kind of deck. If you don't know what the pick here is, and I just wanted to double check the pack just to make sure I didn't sound stupid. If you don't know what the pick here is, you really need to work on your evaluations. It's a question beast. Card's insane. Looking here, doesn't seem like there's going to be an obvious choice for us. We could take something like a Steam Vents to try and sort of keep blue and red as possibilities for us. Evolving Wilds to keep anything open for us, but it's going to slow us down a lot. But honestly, I'm looking at the Blast Zone. This is utility land. We're in mono green. We don't get a ton of removal. And it's possible that with all the mana that we've got, maybe this is our best way of dealing with some really problematic threats. Can actually be quite good against aggressive decks as well if they're all on 1-drops or 2-drops, and we can just Blast Zone for 1, Blast Zone for 2. It deals with our problems quite well, right? This pack, we're looking at the Untamed Karvu, perhaps. I don't think like if we had an Ulamog or something, I'd be thinking maybe Gilded Lotus. Warbriar's Blessing is kind of weak. The Untamed Karvu, Vigilance, Trample, Kicker 3. So this has the versatility. It can be a 2/2. It can be a 5/5. It kind of stomps in. Can go up the ground against early aggression, or it can be a beat a little bit later on. That's actually not too bad. I think that's fine. I think that fits more with what we want to be doing than Warbriar's Blessing. We are in a mono green deck, so something like Nyx Lotus could be fine. Charging Monstrosaur is not bad for like a green red kind of stompy deck. Again, it wouldn't be too hard to play this. My concern is now. This is pack 2, pick 5. We haven't seen like a really super big thing to ramp into, which kind of scares me off of the Nyx Lotus slightly. The fact that this enters tapped as well, oh, it's so questionable. If we're taking a Charging Monstrosaur here, okay, I'm taking the Nyx Lotus. I'm sticking to the plan, you know. This is it's a battle of self-control sometimes. A Chroma's Memorial could be tempting, to be honest. We can probably ramp into this pretty well. And it kind of works in like an elf plan. If we just have like 2/2s and 3/3s and 4/4s, and they have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from black and red, that's pretty cool. Savage Stomp is a fight spell. I'm not feeling it. Yeah, we'll try a Chroma's Memorial, I guess. Vivian Arkbow Ranger is incredible for us. This is a really good one. We're building, it really feels like we're building the Pioneer deck here. Yeah. Civilization has indeed crept too far. Cryptic Caves is an interesting one here. Oh, actually, sorry. I didn't see that this said Sacrifice. Never mind. Arboreal Grazer is the pick then. Ramps us, great card, comes up the ground. Colossal Majesty. I'm not sure we'll play it. Like, I think really we've got to choose between Juggernaut and Colossal Majesty here. And honestly, Juggernaut could be the pick. I don't think Colossal Majesty is drawing us cards when we want it to draw us cards, right? If we've got a Questing Beast on the board or an Awakening Vitu Ghazi or something like that, we don't really care about one card per turn. This is a commander card. We accidentally took Sarkhan the Masterless though. Speaking for too long. That's the downside of streaming. We'll take a Woodland Champion. There is actually a synergy here between this and the Imperious Perfect. Could be interesting. I think, you know, if in doubt, take a land. Even if there's like even if there's pretty much no chance of you playing it, doesn't hurt to have. You know, and if there's nothing else there for you. Here, we will take the Warbriar's Blessing, but we probably won't be looking to play this. The Charging Monstrosaur Wield, which is quite impressive, to be honest. This can cycle. So sure. I don't think we're playing that either. I don't think we're playing Kiln Fiend either. Oh, he is a Galter. That is a good thing to ramp into, and it works really nicely with a Stompy plan as well. It's kind of difficult when you've gone for a mix of ramp and stompy. Although, to be honest, ramp works with stompy. If you land Lana War Elves on turn 1 and a Paradise Druid on turn 2, well, on turn 3 you've got 5 mana. That's enough for your Questing Beast, your Charging Monster Swords, your Awakening, your Vidu Ghazi. So I think Galder is a pretty clear pick here. Tranquil Thicket, not too bad either. Dryad Greenseeker, We don't want to be there. I think I'd rather take the treasure map over the Dryad Greenseeker, honestly. Okay, then we've got... Oh, interesting. We've got Roar of the Worm, Overcome, Lovestruck Beast. I don't love much of this, but I think Lovestruck Beast is what I love the most. We're not really an Overcome deck. I mean, maybe we are. Like this Imperious Perfect, I think we're doing this by accident. We're not trying to go for an elf strategy, but it seems like we've kind of got a sub-theme in the deck. But we don't want to commit to that, really. Gem Razor. Reach, Trample, Mutate. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. We've also got an Uro here. Like, I know we're not in green-blue, but it's hard not to look, at least, at the Uro. I think we do just take the Gem Razor here, stick to our plan. I'm not even sure if we're going to play the Charging Monster Saw, for example. The fact that this thing has Reach, it has Trample. It's a 4/4 for 4. And it has like the potential to just mutate onto something. You can mutate this onto an elf if there's a really problematic artifact or enchantment on the board. Oh, some interesting ones here. All 4 of these play with lands in interesting ways. This cycles for lands, this cares about lands, this allows you to play more lands, and this stops all your things from being countered. I don't like the blue-white control deck and the control decks I have actually played against a fair bit. This could make sense. We don't care about enchantments as our problem. I'm thinking the Wayward Swordtooth. This is a little stompy. It lets us ramp, kind of. We might be getting too heavy on 3-drops here, but I don't know. That we care about... Pardon me. We care about having 5-drops. We care about having big creatures, I should say, because of our Galter. Not 5-drops. It has 5 power and 5 toughness. That's where I was coming from with that one. Nightpack Ambush is interesting. This can like kind of give us value when we start running out of gas, because we're not a flash deck, so we're not holding up things for our opponent's turn, probably. Return of the Wild Speaker though. This draws us cards or it's an overrun effect. I think that's like perfect for what we're trying to do here. Here's a Fauna Shaman that could help us get to our big stuff. You know, we've put out our little threats and now we're like, alright, we need to discard a Paradise Druid to go find our Galter, for example. So it's a really nice toolbox card. The Nessian Wanderer, like, we don't care about enchantments. Traxos, we're not really doing that thing. Gingerboot's an interesting one. I don't think we're that kind of deck. I think we're stompier rather than fast and aggressive. So Fauna Shaman seems like a pretty sensible pick here. I think this is a pretty straightforward Goreclaw. We've ended up in the stompy deck, but you still want the ramp spells early for that anyway. Gilded Goose, fantastic. 1 mana ramp is really good for us. Here I'm actually just thinking Tranquil Thicket. It's a land when you want it to be a land. It's a different card when you want it to be a different card. Yeah, that seems fine enough. We're not heavy enough in red that I feel good about the Ambush or the Tectonic Giant. I'd probably feel better about the Ambush, but I mean, the Thicket seems perfectly fine here. Take an Overcome, but I'm not sure I'm playing it, to be perfectly honest. We'll take a Gallia. I guess if we're going to take something, we should take the Fight with Fire, really. We're just not playing Gallia. We've got Elvish Reclaimer and Destiny Spinner on the wheel. This, like, is probably not good for us. It's an elf. It has that going for it. But I don't think that's enough. I think Destiny Spinner actually has some upside for us. Nightpack Ambusher on the wheel also. Very cool. So this actually worked out. This worked out really nicely for us by the looks of things. We got a lot of good cards here. Now the problem with playing a monocolored deck like this is going to be more consistent. It was more straightforward to draft this deck, but the ceiling of the deck is probably going to be lower. It's going to be a more consistent deck than your 2, 3, 4, 5 color decks. But it's going to be less powerful than one of those decks if they're built correctly. So we're kind of banking on the idea that people aren't necessarily great at building the decks correctly, right? We want to try and at least get a few percentage points out of our opponents from opponents that don't have like good decks built because it hasn't quite come together for them. They haven't gotten the picks. People have hated them out of what they're trying to do. You know, they took the threat over the discard spell. They took the removal over the threat. Things like that. Okay, so the cuts and why we made them. We started off by just taking out like the obvious things that had just ended up in our deck that we hadn't had the chance to sideboard out during the draft. I think we had like the Temple of Epiphany, stuff like the Kiln Fiend might still be in the deck, things like that. Then we decided to take out the red, Charging Monster Sword and Banefire. We just felt like our deck was more consistent if we didn't try and rely on that strategy. We took out some 2-drops because we were really, really heavy on the 2-drops. Warbriar Blessing, it's not doing what we want us to do. Destiny Spinner, we're not too worried about counter spells in a best of 1 format. We can't tech it in. We had too many 2-drops already. Nessian Wanderer, we don't care about enchantments. Song of Freyalise, just probably not doing what we want it to do. Woodland Champion has an interesting synergy, but as I say, we have too many 2-drops already. This probably was one of the weaker ones. Overcome, we're not a goal-wide strategy. Finale of Devastation, actually, just because of the, you know, we only have one really big card, and that's Galder. And there's no chance that we're getting to like 14 mana to get Galder out, so let's not worry too much about that one. And I think that's all the cuts that we had to make. Oh, we took out the Nyx Lotus. Just doesn't seem like we're the kind of deck that needs to be doing that. We don't need absolutely tons of mana. We've built more of a stompy deck than a ramp deck. And we took out the Akroma's Memorial. Again, we're not a goal-wide deck. It hurt me to cut this one. I really wanted to try out playing it, but it wasn't to be. So here's our deck. We'll give it a nice little name. We'll call it Spiky Green. And then I'll put it in this format because I know people like to see it that way. So yeah, we are a 17 land deck that is arguably too many lands. I think it's about right. Like we want to curve out really nicely. We don't want to have land problems. We don't want to draw too many lands, and we don't have a bunch of card draw, which is like our main concern. But we're hoping that the quality of our cards is so high, and we can get out big threats so much earlier than our opponents can deal with them. But hopefully we'll be able to get some wins that way. So let's hop in and play some games. Opening hand, we have a Once Upon a Time in, so that's sick. We've got an Incubation Druid, and we've got a couple things to ramp into. 3 lands. It feels really solid. Like, we've got the consistency plan going. We ideally want our opponent to stumble. I think they took a Mulder, so they're going to be down to 6 cards to begin with. And they're on the play, because apparently... Oh no, I'm on the play. Fantastic. Let's play a Once Upon a Time. Whew. So I can play Incubation Druid next turn and play Questing Beast on turn 3. Yeah, that seems pretty good. I like that plan. Alternatively, we could have gone for the Wayward Swordtooth and tried to play a bunch of lands. I don't think that's going to be as strong as just having a Questing Beast. Keep in mind also that our Tranquil Thicket here is a really good draw. This land can be whatever we want it to be. It could be a redraw. Get a Questing Beast out on turn 3. What is this, standard? Oh, and it's only getting better from here, if we're honest. Midnight Reaper. I do not fear the Reaper. Oh, he wants like a free draw. No, I'll not give it to him. Now, do I go with an Awaken? Oh, this doesn't untap, so no, I shall not do that. I think we go for a Voracious Hydra. So this can be X equals 3, and then it can fight the Midnight Reaper. Feels pretty good. Stop that little draw engine that they've got going, and, you know, I get a 3/4. Very cool. Look at all these symbols on Questing Beast. What a card, honestly. Hit in for 4. I mean, and now, like, you see the power of this consistent deck. It seems, to be honest, like they've gone for... Okay, I was going to say it looks like they've gone for a pretty consistent thing also, but then they just played Helm of the Host, so honestly, anyone's guess as to what's going on there. I'm going to awaken the V2 Ghazi on a land. Yeah, autoplay chooses everything but that land. Very cool. Awaken the V2 Ghazi gives haste, so I didn't have to worry about which land I picked. That's pretty neat. And we just smack all in. Gutter Bones is blocking this. That means we get in for 7. They're on 4. They need to do a lot to get back into this game. You know, Damnation's not in the set, so I think we got it. Sick. Easy win 1. Questing Beast, what a card. The deck is doing exactly what it wants to do. Okay, so this is an interesting one. We're more land heavy than we'd like to see, but we can use those lands to play a big-ish Stonecoil Serpent, and we can get a Fauna Shaman out. I don't think we want to get rid of the Stonecoil Serpent, but we'll see. Getting rid of a Stonecoil Serpent to get a Questing Beast, for example, could be pretty good. The nice toolboxy nature of this. Oh, hello. Okay, it looks like we might be against straight up mill, which is crazy. I'm really curious. Is this blue-black mill? Is that an archetype that you can even build in this format? I don't know. So I can play the perfect, and then next turn I could go perfect. Sorry, next turn I could go Fauna Shaman and make a token. And then we've got a little army going. I think I like that actually. Oh, right, okay. Make a green. Strange that maybe it would have worked if I just pressed the goose actually. It's been a little while since I've been on Arena, to be honest. Just playing the Secret Keeper app? Sure thing, alright. Yeah, let's stockpile mana so that our Voracious Hydra can actually take something out. And then we go Fauna Shaman. It's a 3-3. We get to make a 2-2 with our Imperious Perfect. It's not a bad little line for us. As our opponent does nothing. It's a little scary. I don't know what they're working their way towards. Scarab God, maybe? Something like that. We've got a Night Pack Ambusher, which works really nicely with our Perfect, actually. We can... yeah, we can choose not to cast spells. Yeah, let's attack in with our Fauna Shaman and our Elf Warrior. Get in for 2. It's not a great deal, but our opponent's not doing a great deal either, so... we can flash in Night Pack Ambusher at the end of their turn. Try and see what they're wanting to use their mana for here. Massacre Girl. See, I'm really glad that I didn't play my Night Pack Ambusher. There's not a great deal we can really do here, is there? Just gotta let them have it. Yeah, okay, that's a good play. They get a good amount of value out of that. And we weren't able to capitalize soon enough. And then I'll flash in my Night Pack Ambusher. I'm wanting to use this, but I really can't. Honestly, so Voracious Hydra can't take that down until it gets to being an X equals 4. I need 6 mana to be able to do that. So I could play the Tranquil Thicket this turn and play like the Stonecoil Serpent, for example, but I've only got a 4/4 Stonecoil Serpent. Alternatively, I play the Forest, I make a 5/5 Stonecoil Serpent, and then that can attack through or block this thing. I mean, I get the most value out of waiting, but I don't think I can afford to. So I think we'll go for a 5/5 Stonecoil Serpent. Like, there is an argument to just putting down the Tranquil Thicket this turn, letting the Night Pack Ambusher make a token. But I think I've got to play for the tempo because they're clearly doing some control stuff. That doesn't count as a multicolored card, even though multicolored mana was like it has a multicolored effect, right? Okay, this is cool. I really hope I don't get remove sold or something here, or quenched. But I mean, they've demonstrated so far that they haven't had that in the past. Sinister Sabotage straight up. Okay, that is unfortunate. We're in a kind of bad way. Hopefully our Night Pack Ambusher can make us some tokens. We can kind of get there. I'd really like to see Return of the Wild Speaker was milled as well, so replenishing our hand is going to be just straight up not possible. I don't know. We've got this Tranquil Thicket. That's a redraw. They're down to 2 cards, but they're ahead on the board here. It's pretty scary for us. Yeah, we'll cycle this. Another forest. It's not what you want to see. And here's the problem with our deck now. It's going to be so difficult to... Oh my god. I think they are actually just a mill deck. The fact that the Massacre Girl is going to kill us before the mill does goes to show you why it's not a good idea to build a mill deck. Yeah, so here's our problem. Once you run us out of resources, we've got so many just terrible draws, right? If we draw, I mean, like Paradise Druids and Llanowar Elves and things like that. There's our Gulter gone. There's not a great deal left for us. Vivian is a good one. If we can get to that. Oh, we're getting milled out. Is this the one that... No, okay. I was going to say, is this the one where it's like if they share a colour? Questing Beast down. Oh my god! They're actually milling us. Missed what was actually gone there. Not a great deal. Gem Razor! So, obviously this enchantment is annoying. But if I play the Gem Razor, not only do I get a 4/4 on the board, which is nice, then my Wayward Swordtooth can attack and kill the Ashiok. Or the Massacre Girl. So I think I have to just play this as a creature. I needed the permanent to get the City's Blessing. Blocks, okay. I mean, that's fair enough because they probably just have the win here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't really know what we can do to get back into this. It's very funny that this happened. Good content, hopefully. Ritual have suttered me. I think Vivian's still in the deck. We've got that going for us. So a 1 in 3 chance to draw Vivian, or has she already been milled and I just missed it? There's a 1 in 3 chance to draw Vivian. This like can't even get her. Wow. Okay. Yeah, they super got me. We lost a mill. Oh dear. Opening hand here. You'd love to see one more land rather than like the Awakening or something, but otherwise it's fine. I think it's a keep. We can play the Paradise Druid, hope to draw another land, and then drop a sick 4-drop. But if not, we can play an Untamed Carvu, and it's fine. It's okay. We don't hate it. Our opponent also leading on green blue by the looks of things. Here we go. We didn't get the land that we wanted. There's no real point in mutating this. Untamed Carvu it is, I believe. And we can get in with the Paradise Druid. Why not? Green blue doesn't seem like they're going to have much that they can do against the Paradise Druid. Green blue. Nice lands though, opponent. So I would like to play the Gorklaw. There's no point in playing it pre-combat, I don't believe. See what they've got in the combat phase. They might have some kind of trick or something that they might not have done if I'd have just played the Gorklaw, because they might have held up a counter instead. What does this mean? Like, is this like an unsummon type effect? Or flashing something in, perhaps? No, okay, never mind. Now I'll play the Gorklaw. If you've got the counter, you know, sure. Nice. Gem Razor's a 2-mana spell now. Omen of the Hunt, okay. Looking like there are at least three colored deck then, I'm guessing. Oh no, just another blue. Green-blue ramp is a potent form of ramp. I think blue is some of the best things that you can be doing with a lot of mana. Blue has like the big X spells. You've got Scholar of the Ages. I don't know if Agent of Treachery is in the cube. I feel like it probably is. Mass Manipulation, I believe that is in Bolus's Clutches. These are some big blue spells that you can cast. And you want the green to help you get there. Next Lotus. Okay, the Devotion is currently 1, so this is a... What's something that comes in tapped and taps for 1? I don't know. Is there a spell that bad? I would love... Oh, actually... I can mutate the Gem Razor onto the Kavu and blow up the next Lotus. That's a turn. Put it over the top, please. Oh, that's brutal. I'm just swinging without everything, yeah. Down to 4. Wow. An instant as well. If they just play like a weak creature, we might just be like, okay, that's not a weak creature. I can kill this actually, so I will. And then they fight and it dies. And then I have lethal. Yeah, cool. That was a good game. So the reason that I've decided to do this today is because, like, yesterday I said this at the beginning of the stream as well, but I wanted to reiterate it. There's a lot of different ways to have fun in Magic, and that's what I want my channel to be all about. And one way of having fun is building like super interesting janky decks. Yesterday we were doing 5-color nonsense. We managed to get a Niv Mizzet on the wheel. We cast a Niv Mizzet. It got us 3 cards, and it could only the max it could get us 3 cards, and it got us 3 cards, and it was cool. But sometimes you just want to win. Like sometimes winning is the most fun thing you can do. That's what we're trying to do today. Trying to win. They've got a Once Upon a Time. We've got our own Once Upon a Time, my dude. But yeah, sometimes just blitzing through the game. Racking up the wins. It feels good, you know? It's a totally valid way to have fun. And sometimes you get burned out of that. Sometimes, you know, I think most Magic players like to alternate their playstyles. They want to do some fun stuff, they want to do some janky stuff. I think I want to take the Perfect here. And we'll try and go for, you know, Incubation Druid into... Yeah, like, the Paradise Druid's just not doing a great deal for us. It generates 1 more mana and makes the Stonecoil Serpent 1 bigger, whereas the Imperious Perfect can generate more creatures, and it makes our Incubation Druid bigger. So it's kind of like, it almost feels like 6 and 2 3s. But where this 2 3s can turn into 7, 8, 9, 10, I guess. I don't know if that's a good metaphor or not. But yeah, I think a lot of Magic players want to alternate between, you know, doing janky, terrible stuff and doing more powerful things, like, because you have different moods for different days. They've got a Nessian Wanderer. Like, are they actually going hard on the enchantments plan? Because if so, that's wild. Field of the Dead. So this is like slow, janky stuff. Deck, right? This brings in the land tapped. So I want to go Incubation Druid. I really want an Incubation Druid and Perfect this turn, I think. But like getting this out earlier is better. Okay, I'll do this. Bring in the Blast Zone. Bring in the Incubation Druid. And then just no attacks. Please no board wipes. The fact that they've committed one creature to the board makes me think like probably won't, but another Massacre Girl would make us really upset. They might, oh, I was gonna say, they might hold on to the Fabled Passage just to trigger the Field of the Dead later, but nah, fair enough. I think they've correctly figured out they needed to start doing things now. Questing Beast, that's good against us. Does this thing have Death Touch? It does. Why does it have Death Touch? That's the most annoying one to me. Why does it have Death Touch? It doesn't make any sense. That's really frustrating to try and get around, actually. I can kill it with Incubation Druid, but I lose a lot in the process. I can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana and make a Stonecoil Serpent X equals 6, but like just dies to the Questing Beast. It's really rough. Questing Beast, you love it when it's in your deck, you hate it when it's in their deck. I think I Stonecoil Serpent X equals 5 and make a Elf with the Perfect. Alternative is try and go on the Blast Zone plan. Or use the Incubation Druid, I suppose. There's another valid line. I don't know, I might take this block, to be honest, because it feels like we're in a good position afterwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different names of land. So still quite a ways away from getting the Field of the Dead here. Once they do, it's going to be really difficult for us. Yeah, I don't want this Wayward Sawtooth to be able to block. This feels like one of the best ways for us to get rid of the Questing Beast as well. If we get rammed through here, obviously that's going to be annoying, but yeah, I mean, we can attack with these. It's only 1 point of damage, but it's about all we can do, so we'll buff up the Incubation Druid. That's still only 5 different names of land. Blast Zone having 1 counter on it is bad against the zombies. Yeah, pass to attackers. I mean, you're not attacking. Adapt. These are not happy draws. Get in for 6 though, that's quite a bit. Next turn will be 8 if they don't do anything. We've got to start thinking about what we want to do with our Blast Zone. Putting it on 4 seems like a good idea right now. That's scary. Can we get it onto 4? We'd need 6 mana to do that. Yeah, we can do that. We have to pass up on a token this turn though. Yeah, there's no way to do both. Sorry, I just splashed some water on my mustache. Yeah. I'm not sure, like, sorry. I've slowed down because I'm trying to think. Like, I've given them the opportunity to block with the Captain CC and take out a token here. Especially because our Blast Zone is on 4 anyway. Ah, they have the 6 Blessing. That's frustrating. Yes. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9. Oh, if I just killed the Captain CC that removed 2 blockers, that would have been so much better. That's a huge miscalc. Yeah, we're going to do this. Get rid of the Captain CC. I really should have done that earlier. I think I have to commit to this. If they have a board wipe, we probably lose, but it's honestly it's the risk we've got to take right now. Oh, once you've got the blessing, you can't lose it either. Oh, so it doesn't matter if I killed the Captain CC. Yeah, okay. Never mind. That's fine. Return of the Wild Speaker would be insanely good. Ram through, not bad. First I run games, actually okay. Hopefully this gets to draw us a card. I can't really attack now. Not until our board is wide enough. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they get one more different land, they start getting Field of the Dead Zombies, and we might start running into problems. Yeah. Oh, I like we make a 2/2 every turn as well, so 3 + 1 + 1 counters on. I mean, this flies. Yeah, let's do that. I'm not going to weaken the Vita Ghazi. And now maybe we just, yeah, I think we swing all in here. Not you. Not you. Yeah, everything else. So that's still 6, 7, 8, 11, I believe. Very nice. That was a dicey one, and we got there. But like, look, this is what happens when you try and mess around with your 3, 4, 5 color decks. It's just, it's not going to work out too nicely for you. But I mean, it's fun. Like, but you're going to come up against an aggressive, consistent deck like the one we've built today, and it's going to smack you down. It's going to smack you up, and around, and it's going to smack you down. Seems like a straight up good hand. Yeah. You would love a... would you even love a 1-mana dog? I guess you would. But, I mean, this is all pretty cool. Steam Vents on the opener? Okay. Scary. Don't counter. Don't counter. Don't counter my Paradise Druid. Well, I think they might have removal for a creature, so I feel like a Vivian might be the best play here. Are they likely to have enough removal to kill a Nightpack Ambusher though? Yeah, I kind of feel like I want to leave Nightpack Ambusher until... They might just have a counter for this, and that is fine. Not ideal, but fine. I think this is one of the things in my hand I'd most like them to counter, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, okay. It's not great. You don't want them to have counters, obviously, but if there was something to counter, like, that's not that much of a threat. Ah, that hurts. Getting that taken away from us. I think we play the Nightpack Ambusher here. Yeah. While they've only got 2 mana open, if they've got any more chance of counter spells, there was still a chance of a counter spell there, but Galdar costs 8, which is still a ton. Oh, we can bring that down. I think I just want to play the Untamed Carvu kicked. Yeah. It's like the least versatile spell. It's the most on-curve play. And it commits the least to the board. It might get countered. And that's fine. If they're spending their turns countering my things, well, at least I've got the Night Pack Ambush on board, right? I'm ahead. We'll see how long that lasts, though. It's a little scary, like, navigating these lines. I think playing against control decks is really testing, even when you're just an aggro deck. Blink of an eye in my Night Pack Ambusher. Interesting. That implies to me that they want to counter it later. Or maybe they just wanted the damage off the board. Hard to tell. Swing in. I'm not playing the Night Pack Ambusher back out. Will they counter a 1 mana threat? Probably not, is the answer. But it's worth finding out. Will they counter a 3 mana threat? Because if they're not countering this because they want to hold it open for the Night Pack Ambusher, well, that's fine. Yeah, okay, Ionize. You got me. That's fine. We're still 6 damage on board. There's still 2 turn lethal on the board. The beginning of your upkeep, target opponent puts the top 3 cards of the library into the graveyard, then you draw a card for each land card point to the graveyard this way. Okay, that's not really a big deal. 6. Can I play a Night Pack Ambusher and Galdar here? I believe I can. That feels pretty huge. Do I need to, though, is the question. Maybe I just play the Galdar? Oh, no, they're in blue-red. What could they do? Flood of Tears on 6 mana? But Flood of Tears hurts me the same whether it's Night Pack Ambush or not. They need to actually like wipe everything on the board, which I don't think they can do. Not in blue-red. So I'm going to go for the Night Pack Ambusher on Galdar. I don't think there's any hard board wipes they could have. 2 lands, they get to draw 2 cards. They've given me the good game. I'm going to give them the good game back, because I assume that means they've lost. If they've got something, I'd be amazed. Yeah, the 3 mana, no chance. Unless it's a fog. Drawing some more cards, sure thing. Interesting to put Patient Rebuilding in your deck. Were you going for a blue-red mill plan? Did you have fun in the match? Absolutely, dude. I had fun in that match. For sure. 4 wins. This is like kind of a break even. It's not the true break even, which is here. But feels like we're going to get there. Opening hand seems great. Llanowar Elves and Gilded Goose. Yeah, these aren't exactly the threats we'd love to ramp into, but we've got like a turn... We've got a turn 3 Awakening Vito Ghazi potentially. We've got Stonecoil Serpent that can fill the gap if not. There is some argument here to playing the Gilded Goose over the Llanowar Elves. Just because the Goose has more toughness. Oh, that's good. That's pretty good. That's fast. Let's get our 1 point of damage in there. Why not? Every little bit helps. They've played an Incubation Druid. Okay. We've only got 5, so we can't like awaken the V2 Ghazi on an untapped land, unfortunately. Which is pretty frustrating, which makes me just like want to not do it. I'm a little scared of this thing. Like they're green and blue. I'm thinking maybe Stonecoil Serpent's pretty good here. 5/5 Stonecoil Serpent means that we can't awaken ever though. Well, you know. Maybe we Gem Razor. Let's have a 4/4 with Reach and Trample. Yeah, okay. Would I rather... Oh, there's no point in mutating this, is there? Other than the fact that it's cheaper, it doesn't really make a difference for us. No attacks end turn. Like, if we can get one more land and then awaken onto an untapped land, that feels so much stronger to me than awakening onto a tapped land. Like, at that point they might just... Ooh. What's that? Lifelink. Ah, it chooses at random. If we play a Paradise Druid here, we've got a bit... We can awaken the V2 Ghazi next turn. Somehow I don't think they're blocking. So Lifelink's actually frustrating though. This feels a little rough actually. We're just not getting like the action that we need. We're kind of playing slow. I'm beginning to think we should have Stonecall Serpented that turn. For X equals 4, it's going to be bigger than everything they can do. Except if the Mecha Godzilla gets a +1/+1 counter randomly. This thing could get very scary very fast. I wish we could mutate the Gem Razor somehow. We don't have any other mutate cards in the deck. I don't think we have anything that returns something to our own hand. I don't believe. So they would have to bounce our own Gem Razor, which would be obviously a terrible decision for them, so I don't expect them to be doing that. What does it get this time? Death Touch now. That's huge. However, if they try and get in, we're swinging back with a V2 Ghazi. Yeah, okay. No blocks on that one, strangely. Although, actually, I was... Paradise Druid, Llanowar, Elves block is interesting. Okay. That's really good for them. Yeah. I wish we had a Cavalier of Thorns, actually. That'd be a really good card for us. And there's a land anyway. Yeah, this probably only takes out the Spectral Sailor. Like, is that worth the swing? Maybe Stonecall Serpent's better here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can make a 7/7 Stonecoil by sacrificing the food. I think it's worthwhile. For all, what is food good for? If not for eating and making snakes. But not serpents, strangely. We're in a bit of a stalemate situation here, and it's going to be who can break through that with the Reclamation Sage. It's going to apparently be who can break through that with the I was gonna say with the biggest creature possible, but oh man. Well, if Mecha Godzilla gets in, I think we're blocking it because we don't want that thing getting any more keywords. And it was also the only thing that could deal with our V2 Ghazi. My god, okay. So we awaken the V2 Ghazi on a land. And I think it's better on blocking duty, annoyingly. And we can actually cycle the Tranquil Thicket with it. Because they're probably not attacking into this unless they can deal with it. Oh my god. I mean, that's it. That's it, I think. Earlier, we had a game and I was like, oh, green, blue, there's interesting things to ramp into with blue. You got Impulse Clutches? Yep. That's the one. That's the ticket. We'll block the Spectral Sailor, but I don't think there's a draw in our deck that saves us here. No, almost. Because like these are all non-humans, right? They could not block with everything, and then we deal 12, 14, 15. That's not a million miles away. Is it possible for us to hang on long enough that this actually kills them? Keep in mind, Imperius Perfect, that's going to add an extra few points of damage as well, but I have to like keep blocking the big things. Is it possible that this can help in any way? Not really. I don't think this gets us anywhere, but I'll try it. Planes as well. If we pull off a win with this, it's impressive. Put it that way. Swinging in with everything. Maybe they've got their own. They might have their own Return of the Wild speaker here, to be perfectly honest. So what can we do? We can do the Goose against this. We can do the 0-3 against this, and then we'd have a 2-2 against a 0-2, and we'd have, and then we'd pop, like take 3, but they've probably got a trick, right? Oh, that thing can adapt. That kills our elves. Yeah, that's fair. So this is where we're at. It doesn't feel good. No, I mean, like, we'd have to spend 5 mana and tap the Paradise Druid to even cast this. Nah, that's not happening. Oh well, I mean, you can't win them all. Especially when your opponent is doing like very similar stuff to you, but they were able to get a powerful splash off without it costing them much in terms of their consistency, at least for that game. You never know, there might be games where they're just drawing islands. They're not able to do anything. They draw that plains as well, like that plains came out of nowhere. I wonder what they're splashing with a single plains, or if they're on double plains. Could be like March of the Multitudes or Trostani perhaps. Okay, opening hand here is less than ideal, but it works well with the Wayward Swordtooth at least, and hopefully we draw into some gas pretty quick. But having a turn 2, so oh, there we go. There's some gas, and this is gas that doesn't like require more gas, if you know what I mean. Nightpack Ambusher, what a card! Looks like we're against mono red aggro. I think like just our earlier bodies on the board is going to be able to deal with that. Like Arboreal Grazer, what a blocker! Ooh, it's black red. That's scarier because that could mean like sacrifice shenanigans. We could be talking Claim the Firstborn and stuff like that. Judith. This can't block. You should have attacked. 4 mana? Oh, 5 mana. 5 mana. Makes me think Untamed Carvu, I think. This can block though. That was really weird. You should have attacked with the Evasion of Pyromancer, right? Arboreal Grazer would have just died to it. Wayward Swordtooth can't block unless I've got the City's Blessing. And my opponent just made a mistake there and assumed this thing, it's only the attack trigger that it can't do. This is scary because like I've got an obvious block here, right? Let's make him use it. Whatever it is. Well, the fact that he's having to... That went face? Do you have a shock? Slaying fire. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Nightpack Ambusher? And we can hold up the Once Upon a Time at instant speed to try and get the Nightpack Ambusher to trigger. There's the Monster Sword. It's about to do some work. No blocks. Stonecoil Serpent for 5. Like, I don't love it as much as Stonecoil Serpent for more than 5, though. Maybe I do. I can block the monster saw, and that's kind of important. Like, if we just trade off with the monster saw, that's pretty good. The Nightpack Ambusher it'll start generating value when it needs to, but not before. Unfortunately, I need a block of the monster saw more than I need a 3/3. We really need the City's Blessing also. That would be nice. Get this Wayward Sawtooth online. Huh! Making the monster saw even stronger. But that without Aurelia on the board, I now really don't want to block the monster saw with the Stonecoil Serpent, because this is like the best blocker we've got. This thing can make itself a 5/5 with Vigilance. Can't get first strike though. I think I gotta take a hit. That's really rough now, because if they just swing all out, I die. That might have been a mistake. I think that was a huge mistake, actually. Golda seems like the one. I think I just messed it up. I think my opponent probably sees the kill. It says whenever a non-token creature you control dies. So it counts itself. So they just swing all out. Ah, no! Because I can avoid the Judith dying by blocking it with Arboreal Grazer. Or the token. So actually, no, this might be alright. Obviously, they're a red deck. They could just burn me for 3 to the face. Really swinging with that. I mean, that's very scary, but... Killing off the token, okay. Oh, they can kill Golda. That's huge. Gem Razor. Well, you have reach. So that's kind of big game. But honestly, I think I should double spell the Lovestruck Beast and the Paradise Druid. This thing can still block. And then, like, there might be an artifact or enchantment that I care enough about to Gem Razor on the next turn. I need to start thinking about winning, though, is the problem. I can't just stay alive forever. No attacks. That's a big yikes. That's a huge yikes. So they take control of the Stonecoil Serpent, and then the Aurelia gets trampled from herself. And then kills me. I could try and attack for a lethal amount of damage that would just block a bit. Maybe like the fact that I represent a trick scares them a bit. Yeah, go for it. I mean, if they actually just block so that all their creatures die, they win the game. So there's that. I don't know. I've got to play it to my outs, and I think this is it. There might have been a more calculated attack I could have made. Yeah. There's a few draws that could have won me the game there, but Forest wasn't one of them. Yep, that's a win for them. Well done to them. Sometimes you get unlucky. Not every draft's a 7-0, you know? I still think that the deck we built was really good. The method for building it was like really straightforward. If people follow that, they'll probably have like a more consistent time. They'll end up with records like this more often. Whereas if you're doing like the 5-color good stuff, you'll end up with like records like this over here. So I still think that we learned a lot. I still think it was a good idea to like build this deck, and I don't hate what we've done. But let's see what our prizes were anyway. 3,000 gold, and then our ICRs are Nature's Spiral, Golden Demise, and the first eruption. Terrible. But the 3,000 gold, and we had fun doing it, right? We only lost 1,000 gold in doing that. We got our ICRs, not bad. And it could have gone better. It could have gone better, right? Like, maybe it goes better next time. Anyway, I really hope that you've enjoyed today's stream or the VOD of it if you're watching here on YouTube. If you are watching here on YouTube, please consider subscribing for more Magic the Gathering content, and leaving a like or a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. If you've enjoyed this, then it's in your interest to subscribe and a like and a comment, because that tells more people that they would enjoy it. Tells the YouTube algorithm, hey, promote this thing. They'll enjoy it, and I'll make more videos, and it'll just be like a happy, good time for everyone. So yeah, thank you very much for watching today. I think we did a really good job of exploring the idea of building a very consistent deck to spike the arena cube draft, and you can apply this to other cubes and other draft formats to some extent. I think it works a lot better in cube. There's a lot more support for monocolor decks in cube than there is in other draft formats. But yeah, as I said, hopefully you had a good time watching this. I had a good time making it, and I'll see you again soon. I'm doing a month of streaming every day is what I'm trying to commit to. So I should see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you very much for watching, everyone. And goodbye. Have a lovely day.